Hi, everybody. This is Todd Creager, and this is the time of year that I do my once a year anniversary video, share a little about me and my partner and what we've learned. But this is kind of a special one because next week, from the time I'm recording this right now, will be our 40-year wedding anniversary. 40 years. I look too young to be married for 40 years, don't you think? Well, maybe you don't think so. That's okay. It it this The last time I had a beard, it wasn't gray, it was black, but I've had this beard now for going on 2 years, and it is what it is. So it's been 40 years. So let me just talk a little bit about what I've learned. Just like five different points I want to make and go into a little detail with it, not too much. But 40 years, what I've learned in 40 years of marriage to my wife, Sherry. The one thing that I would say has worked for us is that we have both shared and individual interests. I think that's important in a marriage. I think that, or committed relationship. When I say marriage, it could be a committed relationship. It doesn't have to be a marriage. But I'm going to use the word marriage just because I'm married now. So, for example, we hike a lot together. We do that a lot. I did a great hike with her today. Really wonderful hike. And actually ran into a college fraternity brother. Wow, I did it. It was really amazing. But it was an achievement because we were out there for over 3.5 hours, and we did a lot of uphill, and it's what we love to do together. Dance together. We've taken dance lessons and showed off a little bit at my daughter's wedding. Um, we share some of the same music interests together, but we can't just do things together. We need individual interests. I see oftentimes couples where they only do individual things separate, like they have hobbies, their passions. And I think it's important for them to find something they could do together. But at the same time, I've also seen couples where they're just together all the time. That's not great either. So, for an example, I golf. It's something that my wife has absolutely no interest in whatsoever. So I'll be out there playing once a week typically, and I'm out there with my friends for 4.5 hours, and then we go to lunch. It's a whole thing. Um, Sometimes I'll go bike ride by myself, and there's something about being by myself that's really healthy. And even though we do bike ride together, our bike riding is very different. I might just bike ride longer and faster, but I'll tell you something, she hikes really fast. She keeps me in shape. So when it comes to bike riding, you know, usually I'm pretty much doing my own thing. So there's a nice combination of shared and individual interests, and I think every couple would benefit by having that. Let me just tell you what else. I could also tell like what has worked in our marriage. Okay, and I'm going to share like it's not been perfect. It never is. We all have a lot to learn. We all come from families where our parents didn't give us oftentimes the best habits of how to talk, especially about very difficult topics. But there are those things that work. So the other thing that I'm thinking of is consistent time together, even consistent short time together. So anybody that's heard me speak about couples, they've heard me say this 10 minutes a day thing. 10 minutes a day keeps the divorce attorney away. If we could slow down for 10 minutes, no device, no phone, no TV, no computer, just slow down together, look at each other, um, talk to each other, be interested in each other, cuddle with each other. It's just slowing down, not trying to get somewhere all the time. Relationships that work when we can slow down together and not we're always trying to get somewhere. I spend a lot of time with couples that are busy working, maybe have a lot of young children, and they're just crying out for that. We need to slow down together. We are crying out for connection. So we need to give ourselves those 10 minutes a day, or 20, or 30, or hour, or 2 hours. But in our busy lives, even 10 minutes a day minimum can do wonders in a relationship. And we've done that. We've done that. We're not perfect. I'm not saying we do that every day, but slowing down for 10 minutes a day. Of course, when we're hiking for hours at a time, it's great because that's all we're doing, just hanging out, being with each other, getting a good workout, talking, sometimes holding hands. Most of the time not, because we're sweaty and it's just too fast for me anyway. But I keep up. Every once in a while I have to jog to catch up to her. But anyway, so that's basically it. Consistent time together, even if it's short. Third thing is practicing non-defensiveness. Now that's an area that's tough for me. I could be really defensive. I like to be right. I like to be seen the way I like to be seen. If my wife has a complaint about me, I could easily get defensive. That would be a very easy thing for me to do. And I have many, many times. It never works for me. It never makes her life better. It never makes my life better. So I've been practicing being non-defensive, and I think I'm getting better at it. I'm hoping that I'm even better at it in the future, but I'm getting much better at it. And one of the ways I practice non-defensiveness is I've learned that if my wife has a complaint, the best thing I could do is, first of all, realize it's not really dangerous. I don't have to let my fear hijack me, my brain, and make it seem like it's something I got to defend myself from. If she's disappointed or frustrated or angry, all I need to do, I'm saying, well, it's not that easy, but what I have to practice doing is being non-defensive. Keep my heart open, soft belly, and look at her and stay with her and connect with her. Maybe spend that 10 minutes of slow time listening to her complain about me. Believe me, it's not 10 minutes of complaints. If she complains and I'm non-defensive and I stay tuned into her, her complaint would dissolve into connection and closeness and good feelings. It might happen immediately. It might happen in a few minutes from now, but it will happen. So practicing non-defensiveness is very important. That's a big part of why I think our marriage, though not perfect, is far better now than it ever was before. It just keeps getting better. And not the only reason, but one of those reasons is me practicing non-defensiveness. I'm not going to talk about my wife. This is my video. All right. Um, Fourth thing is finding a common focus. In other words, what are our shared values? And really endorsing our shared values and standing by them and working with them. You know, we, for example, have a very shared value of family first. Family comes first. So when we had a crisis in my family with one of our kids, it was easy for us to decide to cancel a vacation. Not a, it was a no-brainer. It was a vacation we wanted to do. We canceled it. And because as much as we value our vacations and our time away, our first value is our family. And we knew that our daughter needed us, well, might need us. Turned out she did need us. So it's important to have those kinds of values. Um, I think it helps us that we both share a lot of the values that might lead us to more times than not even vote for the same person. I'm not getting into all that, but I'm just saying those things help. I'm not saying that you have to agree on everything, but it's nice to find those common values and common focuses and shared values. I think it's important. It's important. It helps us deal with some of the differences that we have as well. I mean, sometimes our shared values family, but when we bring up kids, oftentimes we disagreed about how to parent the kids, but we still have the same value. We might have been coming at it from a different vantage point, and she thought this is the way to be a loving parent, and I thought something else was to be a loving parent. But what helped us is to realize that we both have the same intent, which is to be loving parents, the best parents we could be. The fifth thing that I think is very important that really helped us in our 40 years is playing together. I see this with a lot of couples where they're good at doing a lot of things together, taking care of tasks, but they're not playing together. Or the only time they play together is when they're with their grandkids or their kids and they're doing things together as a family. But I'm talking about playing as a couple together. That could be playing, like playing games, board games or sports. That's playing. But it also could be an attitude of play. It's taking some chances with each other, saying, hey, I want to tell this to you about me. And, even sharing secret wants or desires. We want our partner to be someone we could be open with. So when I think of play, I'm not just thinking of play, but there's more like an openness with each other, a sense of I could be me with you. I could discover me with you. When kids are playing, a lot of it is discovery, right? They're discovering a lot about themselves, about the world. So I want to be in a relationship, and I am, with someone where I could discover me, discover who I am with you. So the play is more about non-routine. It's more about novelty, newness, spontaneity, as well as all the other kinds of play that we could do. I would even say that we could use our partner to practice being more playful. So I've had many couples where they get in these rigid roles, and I have them, one ask your partner to dance. Oh, I don't dance. Well, it's even more important to ask your partner to dance if you don't dance, because now you're doing something you don't do much, and maybe you're not even very good at it. Who cares? You're not doing this to be good. You're doing this to play, to connect, to have fun, to have memories. So it's very important to play, to sing together, to dance together, to explore your sexual lives together, to uh, take some chances with each other. It's really important. So that's kind of a very broad definition for me of being playful. So again, just to kind of summarize, shared and individual interest to be able to do both, consistent time together, especially the short times. I like the long times, but short every day is more important than the big ones every few months. Um, Practicing non-defensiveness, finding a common focus, shared values, and lastly, play together. So these are some of the things that have really helped us out in our 40 years together, 40 plus the year before that we were together almost a year. We got married pretty quickly. Back in those days, it was probably crazy that we did that, but it worked out pretty well. So that's what I've learned. And hopefully you're willing to learn all these things too, or you have. I think relationships can really be a beautiful work of art, and that's what they are. They're an art. It's something we need to create and constantly create and recreate. Not a place to rest for too long. We do need to create, and we need to practice all those things that I mentioned. So thanks for listening. This is Todd Creager, making the world safe for love.